Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都还难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niao Honglin, and joining me today, Georgia Massat from online. Hello, Georgia.
It's so nice to be here again.
It's great to have you on the show, and it's the end of 2023, starting of 2024. Time flies. It's so fast.
This year went by so fast. It's crazy sometimes to think about it.
But it's always like this. I mean, when we grow up, when we grow older, we find time flies. And this is always the occasion that I realize having this, very manual way of separating the time in your life to different parts, different months, different years is actually good. It gives you an opportunity, an occasion to reflect. And that is why I guess during New Year period, we have New Year's resolution talking about what we hope to achieve in the coming year. And at the end of the year or the very beginning of the new year, you also take a look at the previous year, see how it's like personally for the society or community, or sometimes even for an entire country, how it has been. And that might be the reason that in a lot of different societies or different cultures, people would try to summarize what happened during the past year using different buzzwords or different keywords. So in the English-speaking world and in the French-speaking world, is there a buzzword of 2023?
I was thinking about this. I haven't looked, but I heard a lot the word holistic.
Holistic.
Yes, has a buzzword of this year for me. But I don't know if it is the case. I will need to check it. But for me, it's the word holistic.
How come?
I don't know. I've heard it so much, and especially this year, in completely many different occasions, and also taking very different actually meanings. And that go away from they differentiate a bit from the original word.
Yeah, because in the Chinese society or the Chinese-speaking world, there are a lot of different organizations trying to figure out what are the most used or most popular words of the year. There are different lists and also in different genre. For example, some lists are concentrated on the words on the internet or some internet slangs or terms or jargons, and some concentrate on the words that are trendy in the society that are very reflective of the past year. And today, that is actually going to be the theme of Takeaway Chinese. So for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. 以前我总觉得身边的显眼包们爱出风头，很吵闹。
我也是，但现在我总是会被他们的活力感染。
没错，我觉得他们既可爱有趣，又能营造欢乐气氛。
质疑显眼包，理解显眼包，成为显眼包。
以前我总觉得身边的显眼包们爱出风头，很吵闹。
我也是，但现在我总是会被他们的活力感染。
没错，我觉得他们既可爱有趣，又能营造欢乐气氛。
质疑显眼包， 理解显眼包，成为显眼包。
That's the dialogue. Do you see some words that you're not that familiar with or you don't quite get the meaning of?
Actually, yes. Reading and seeing them, I can get a little bit the meaning, but there are a lot of new words. I'm happy about that. But I can understand the meaning behind it.
Great, because there are at least one word and one sentence structure or kind of like phrase that are the trendy words of 2023 that are commonly used by people in reality and on the internet, and there are background stories about them we'll discuss in the second half. For now, let's take a look at the sentence. For the very first sentence, 以前我总觉得身边的显眼包们爱出风头，很吵闹。
So in the past, previously, I always felt like the class clowns, the so-called class clowns, liked to stand out and were quite noisy.
Yes, okay. So 以前
one time in the past.
Yes, previously, one time in the past. So 以前 we know is in front of or before something, and 后 is after or behind something, which is why 以前 means previously and in the past. 以后 means in the future. 我
I
总
always
often 觉得
to think of, to feel like.
So 觉得 in itself definitely is a feel. So 我觉得很冷
I feel very tired.
冷 cold.
Oh, yes, sorry, I feel very cold.
Yeah, no worries. 我觉得很冷 I feel very cold. And 我觉得很累
我觉得很累 I feel very tired.
Yes, so 觉得 is literally feeling something. You can use it to say feel. And it's the same in English. You can have a feeling, but you can also have a feeling, which is a thought. So 我觉得她很美
I think she's really pretty.
Yeah, I feel she's really pretty. Same thing. 觉得身边的
Around me, yes.
Yes, 身边的 around me. 身体 that's a body, and 边 is adjacent to, beside. So 身边的 around me. 显眼包
Oh, this is our buzzword. So the class clown, somebody very that entertains people and makes them laugh also.
Yes, actually, 显眼 is a little bit like very visible, easy to spot. So if someone has got a really eye-catching kind of characteristic, then you would be able to spot them in the crowd quite easily. And 包 is a little bit like a character people use to make something a noun. So 显眼包, or for example, 小哭包. 哭 is to cry. And 包 is making this a noun. So 哭包 means someone who likes to cry a lot. It's easy to bring them to tears. And also 受气包. 受气 describes the situation when the person is really easy to be the target of some
joke.
Intentional or unintentional kind of jokes, or a little bit like even bully, and that would make this person feel 受气. So people make him or her unhappy. So 受气包is like, again, a noun describing the kind of person or the kind of people who are like this. And here 显眼包 is the same structure. That is, this one is really easy to be found in the crowd, and that is due to their nature, and that is due to their very active or very playful kind of characteristic, personality.
Wow, somebody really stands out.
Yes, so 显眼包. And 们 is making this a plural now.
Exactly.
爱
To love.
Love to do something, yes. 出风头
To seek attention.
Seek attention, yes. So 风 is wind. So we know in English there is the term, if someone steals your thunder, then they're making themselves under the spotlight when it is your, stage, or it is you that should be in the center of the stage. I think this sentiment is similar. That is, 风头 is supposed, if someone 出了风头, it means they are standing out. And if someone 爱出风头, they'd like to stand out. It's not necessarily. Yeah, it's not necessarily a positive or negative word. I think it's relatively neutral. It's just talking about this kind of characteristics. 很吵闹
Very noisy.
Mm.
Is it a negative word, noisy?
I think so, because we know the word 热闹, right?
Yes.
Which means?
热闹, always a mess? Or
热闹 is
hot?
actually lively. So
Okay,
if you
lively.
say 这个市集很热闹, this market is very lively, very busy. So 热闹 is a very positive kind of word. So 闹 is busy. And 吵 is loud. So 吵闹 would be very loud and making a lot of noise. It's also very busy, but in my opinion, 吵闹 definitely brings a little bit of a negative connotation. So you can say 这个幼儿园很吵闹，或者是幼儿园里的小朋友很吵闹。The kids in the kindergarten are very noisy. It's not necessarily that you're criticizing them, but definitely it's not so quiet. So that's the idea.
Yes, it's okay. I understand. It's not very pleasing for the ears.
That's true. And then we have 我也是，但现在我总是会被他们的活力感染。
So I also think this as well. But now I find myself being infected by their energy.
Yes, 我
I
也是。
I agree.
Yes, actually, 也 means also or to, and 是 means, well, it's the be verb, so it's I am too. And 但
But
现在
right now,
right now, 我
I
总是
always
always. Can you find another way of saying always in Chinese?
zǒng by itself.
Often, 经常
Jing Chang, exactly, yes.
经常 but 经常 carries the meaning of I often do something. You can, in this occasion, I think 我经常被他们的活力感染 works as well.
Okay.
会
To be able to,
or would, yes. 他们
their
活力
energy.
Yes, energy or vitality, their vigor, something like that. So if you say 他很有活力
She has a lot of energy.
Yeah, she's a very energetic person, very lively person. Yes. 感染
Infected.
In fact, yes. Actually, if you say 我最近病毒感染感冒了 I am infected by virus and I am suffering from a flu, it works as well. So literally it's infect.
Oh, okay. As in English, infected by both an energy and also
Yes.
by an illness.
Yes, I often stress this because sometimes both languages, when it comes to the meaning of a certain word, don't always overlap. So I want to make sure to give this information about this word. So 感染, it can be literally affected by certain disease or certain virus. It can also be affected by a certain emotion. So from that sense, both languages use this word in the same way.
Perfect.
没错，我觉得他们既可爱有趣，又能营造欢乐气氛。
Exactly. I think that they are both adorable and amusing, and they are very good at creating a joyful atmosphere.
Yes, so 没错。
You're right. You're not wrong.
You can also say 是呀，对，你说的对 something like these. 我觉得
I think that
他们
they,
既
I wouldn't know how to translate. They are?
Actually, 既 something, 又 something is a structure. It can be used in conjunction with either 又 or 也 indeed to express that something is both A and B. So 既 A 又 B means both A and B. And A and B can be adjectives, verbs, or short phrases. So it's very, very useful. For example, you can say 这家餐厅既便宜又好吃.
So this restaurant is both cheap and delicious at the same time.
Yes. And in this case, the words after 既 and 又 are adjectives. So describing something both A and B. And also you can say 他做事情既快又好.
So this person does things in a very efficient and well manner.
Yeah. So in this case, we're using 快 and 好 to describe the way someone does things. So these are basically adverbs. And you can say this colleague is both proactive and hardworking. How to say that?
这个同事积极有努力.
These are relatively straightforward ways of using the 积 and 又 structure. Actually, it can be more complicated than that. For example, you can say 我既同情他的处境，又不理解他的行为。In the same time, I feel for his bad situation, but I do not understand why he does this. So it can be a really relatively long and complicated kind of sentence using the 既 and 又 structure. Can you use 既 and 又 to come up with a Chinese sentence?
Yes. 我觉得这个人既可爱又美丽。
Great, that is a good example. That's the 既又 structure. And here is 既可爱有趣。可爱
Lovely, very cute.
有趣
Very interesting.
又能
It also can
yes 营造
create
欢乐气氛
very good energy.
Happy atmosphere, yes. So 欢乐 is happy, 气氛 is atmosphere. So here the way of using 既又 is relatively complicated because the things after them are relatively long, but the core info is that 既 A 又 B basically means both A and B. And when you get that, you understand how to use the 既又 structure. And then we have the last sentence. 质疑显眼包，理解显眼包，成为显眼包。
So at first, we question the so-called class clowns. Then we understand the class clowns. And finally, we become the class clowns.
Yes, that's the sentence. It's kind of cute. So 质疑
we question.
Yes.
To put into question.
You can say things like 不要质疑我。
I question you. I question myself.
不要质疑我 means don't challenge me. Because yes, 质疑 carries the meaning of question, but actually because you can also say 提问 is literally put in a question, whereas 质疑 carries the meaning of challenge. So you do not understand them, you want to challenge them, you basically do not approve of something, or you have genuine problems with it. Then you use the word 质疑。理解
understand.
Yes. 成为
become.
Yes. Actually, this is another one of the key words or buzzwords in 2023. The first one we talked about is 显眼包. That's the buzzword. And this 质疑理解成为 is also a sentence structure. And this sentence structure is often seen on social media when you talk about previously you do not understand certain behavior and then you started to understand it and lastly you started to do the exact same. I think it shows certain kind of personal growth, or at least when someone is being relatively more mature, they would have better understanding of the diversity of others and also understand the purpose of becoming one.
Exactly. I think it's a sign of maturity. Sometimes we find ourselves acting like our parents and our young selves wouldn't approve this, but we understand and we finally understand everything.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Okay, so do you have any questions about the conversation?
Not about the conversation. It's a really interesting topic, and especially this class clown figure, and we've all met one, at least in our life.
That's true. And we can talk about the buzzwords a little bit later. Since you do not have any questions, let's practice the conversation first.
Perfect.
How about you start?
以前我总觉得身边的xiànzài宝们爱出风头，很吵闹。
我也是，但现在我总是会被他们的活力感染。
没错，我觉得他们既可爱有趣，又能营造欢乐气氛。
质疑显眼包，理解显眼包，成为显眼包。You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Huólì, and Georgia. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts by email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's talk about the buzzwords of the year 2023. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Huólì and joined by Georgia. So Georgia, here in front of us, we have the list of the 10 buzzwords of the year 2023. So for these words, which would be your favorite? Can you pick 3 words that you enjoy the most or you think are the most interesting?
Yes, for me it would be the last one. So, 质疑、理解、chēngwéi, the one we just discussed.
Yeah. Why do you like this one so much?
I don't know. It gives this sense of, as we said earlier, of maturity, of having a personal growth in just 3 words and explaining it. And I think every one of us has this different perspective where once they couldn't understand something and were completely even against it. And then you start to understand it, and then you start to become actually this. And it's such a good way to say it and also to put it into words. I love it.
Yeah, and one thing is that I feel like young people nowadays are getting, like you said, very much mature when it comes to understanding the previous generation. Actually, there is a quite famous Chinese lyric, one line from the lyrics of a song, 长大后我就成了你. When I grow up, I became you. I think it's the same sentiment. It's just the 质疑、理解、chēngwéi, question someone, understand someone, and become someone is even more vivid. It paints the picture of this rebellious little kid questioning or challenging their parents or their, let's say, elder generation or their teachers. And then they started to understand that reflects their growth. And I do think this is also a quite good buzzword of the year. And is there another one you particularly enjoy?
Yes, I really like 搭子, so pal, buddy, something. Yes.
This one is also interesting because 搭子 da carries the meaning of match. So, for example, 饭搭子. Do you know what 饭搭子 means?
No, I don't.
饭搭子 is meal buddy. So 饭 we know is meal. So meal buddies for eating. You can also have travel buddies, 旅游搭子. And also there's exercise buddies, 健身搭子.
健身搭子.
Yes, 健身搭子. That's exercise buddies for, doing sports, hit the gym, and shopping buddies.
Oh, shopping buddies.
购物
how
搭
do you
子
say that?
购物搭子. Basically, as long as you guys are happy to do these things together, you are something 搭子. This is also very useful. And the reason I find this one quite interesting as well is that we all have friends. We do things with our friends. But before this word, we didn't realize we do different things with different friends. You have a similar kind of hobby or goal or style when it comes to doing things with different people. Maybe you guys like to play with each other quite a lot, but you can't work together or you can't work out together because maybe you have a different style when it comes to the things that requires persistency. Yet, this word perfectly describe that situation and make me actually realize that I have different 搭子 for different things.
That's so true. When I was reading it as well, I thought this is really summarizes everything I was doing without even noticing it. So buzzwords are great.
Yes, and the reason it's getting very popular in China is also because a lot of people started to realize that they like to socialize with their friends, with different friends quite so much in different occasions and different environment. And when we talk about 搭子, this actually reminds me of 旅游搭子. Traveling buddies is because they want to enjoy their travel even better. And there are different traveling styles. We talked about 穷游, traveling in a relatively low budget way. We also talked about city walk, so walking in a city, giving yourself a relatively more immersive experience. And also there's the 特种兵旅游. Do you still remember?
Of course, it's the special forces style tourism.
Yeah.
It has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, we talked about this as well. And it is also one of the buzzwords of the year 2023. And the funny thing is, after 特种兵旅游 became a thing, became a term of buzzwords, people started to use it for 特种兵style something else as well. It's not only about traveling. You can have special force style, for example, watching dramas. Yes, it's definitely binge watching, but using this 特种兵看剧 gives you a special feeling, makes you feel you're very trendy. And then we also have special force style meetings. 特种兵式开会。
Oh, so meetings where everything needs to be done very soon, very efficiently.
Yeah, I love that. But for some other people, some very busy people, it might also be the fact that they have a lot of different meetings they had to attend and they show up and they listen to the important things and they move on to the next one, which is not something I'd like to do. And there's also special first style lunch break.
Oh, this is... I don't like that.
Me neither. So apparently you can 特种兵式 anything. As long as you're efficient, you're fast, you get things done, you can have this 特种兵式. So language-wise, I find this a very interesting way of saying things as well. That's why we discuss the buzzwords of the year basically every year on Takeaway Chinese, because most of the buzzwords can be used in different occasions, not only the original one, but with the development of it and with more people using it, the word started to basically grow on its own and have new functions and new ways of using, which is very interesting.
This is so interesting to see also every year how these words change and how they get adapted into new situations. And how they evolve, like special forces style tourism, how it changed and encompassed also every other things. And it's really interesting. This is great.
And since time is limited, we've only covered several of the buzzwords of 2023. There will be a next episode talking about the remaining buzzwords, or at least we'll also, again, pick some of our favorite buzzwords on the list so we can share with you guys. And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Georgia here in the studio. For more fun episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
Thank you very much. 再见。